Guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be discussing whether you can still fit split load RCD boards into domestic settings along with BS7671. If you can, how can you and how can you be safe doing it, and why has the industry as a macro transitioned to RCBOs as standard? Okay, so first off, let's talk about the big question, which is what we keep getting asked, is can you still fit a split load consume unit? For those who are unfamiliar with the term, a split load consume unit, like this one behind me, depicts where you have two RCDs protecting banks of single phase circuits. Okay, so this RCD, for example, here is giving RCD protection across these MCB circuits here, whilst this one is protecting against these MCB circuits here. So the RCD, as you'll remember from our RCD selection video, protects you against earth leakage. So this single RCD is providing earth leakage protection up to 30 milliamps across these MCBs, which are designed to protect and short circuits. Okay, so same with this one. Now, if you've watched the video or downloaded the white paper about earth leakage, you'll know that earth leakage is on the rise, okay? Now, we will be tweaking that video and the white paper along with it because there's more that we've discovered since and there's some inaccuracies in it. But essentially, there is an awful lot more earth leakage on your circuits now than ever before, and that's because mostly a lot of appliances and white goods, etc., are dumping current to earth, okay? Now, I won't go into that because that, like I say, was a separate video. However, what now that means is you have to be very, very cautious about not exceeding 30%, okay, of that 30 milliamp rating, which is only 9 milliamp, by the way, okay? Otherwise, you could be falling foul of nuisance tripping situations. There's also other situations here why split load boards have become a bit of an issue. So if we just hark back very quickly, this RCD, as I mentioned before, is providing 30 milliamps worth of earth leakage protection against these three circuits. Why these three circuits? Because this is our split load board at Navitas, and we provide these pre-populated with 6 MCBs. This is a 10-way board, right, with SPD in it. Now, another reason I actually wanted to make this video is sales of these units have actually increased over the past 6 months. I personally think that is down to one factor and one factor only. Despite how aggressively priced RCBO protection now is in the market, split load boards, especially on bigger boards, the 12 and the 16 way especially that we do, still becomes more competitive when buying a split load board. It does show me that price is still a massive factor in when we're selecting our boards for these jobs. Now it does seem to be in certain locations more than others. You are still seeing split load boards being fit down here in South Wales. We've also got the East Midlands. They're still quite popular in the East Midlands, Northern Ireland as well. Okay, so it does seem that some more price sensitive areas are still leaning and opting towards split load boards. Now in the regulation of the 18th edition, okay, in BS7671, it does still state that RCBOs are recommended on all final circuits. We now know what recommended means. They've changed the definition. It means you should, okay? So you should be fitting RCBOs on every single circuit, which is why it's become the new norm. However, in another section of BS7671, it does also depict on how you can and should be fitting these split load boards, if in fact you do choose to go that way. Okay, so we're going around in circles a little bit, so let me just break it down very, very simply. The disadvantages, the main disadvantages of this tried and tested split load solution is simply that you have two main issues. One, this RCD, as I've mentioned, is providing earth leakage protection against these circuits. If these circuits are dumping more than 9 milliamps combined, okay, across all these circuits of earth leakage to that RCD can nuisance trip. Okay, that's the first issue. The main issue is a safety issue in that if this trips, okay, so if you've got an RCD and this trips, it's now going to take out this entire bank of circuits. Okay, so everything attached to this RCD will now also disengage. That means all of these come out. So if you have a lighting circuit attached to a socket circuit, an appliance goes in on that socket and takes out the entire circuit, or vice versa, or any other sort of interaction with that circuit, trips that RCD, you could now be without power, you could be without light, because of that RCD has taken out a bank of circuits rather than isolating the circuit that has the earth leak. That's a big problem, especially with vulnerable people, elderly people. Imagine you're in the shower, for example, the lights go out, it's pitch black. because someone has tripped a socket circuit. Okay, there are ways you can try and mitigate that, which is what BS 7671 also leans into. And that, for example, is making sure that if you have a ground floor socket circuit, you put it with the upstairs lighting circuit and vice versa on the other RCD, alternating the light and power essentially on different floors to mitigate, so you'll always still have light on some area. So again, it doesn't eliminate the issue, because if you have a upstairs ring main, for example, that causes a trip on the downstairs light, depending on who is downstairs and what that situation is, or vice versa, it can still have that same adverse effect and become dangerous. So, RCBOs, why has RCBO then become obviously the solution of choice? Well, we'll all remember RCBOs, well, some of you might not, I forget how old I'm getting, but RCBOs traditionally were 20, 30 quid a pop. They've obviously come rapidly down over the last 5 years. I think the going rate of our RCBO, for example, is between sort of 10, 11 pounds, depending on your wholesaler, okay? That RCBO will provide you with 30 milliamps worth of earth leak protection on every single circuit. Now, why is that really important? Well, first of all, you don't have that cross balance between if one circuit goes out, it's taking multiple out, eliminating that safety risk, which is the big one. Okay. Second off, because of this earth leakage dump that you're finding now on appliances and everything else on your circuits, it's very unlikely that any single circuit is going to reach anywhere near that 30% capacity that BS 7671 warns against. Okay, so you're very unlikely to get 9 milliamps worth of earth leakage on a single circuit if there's not a fault present. Okay, so it eliminates that issue as well. So RCBOs have become the solution of merit. They've also become the new normal. Now, there are obviously multiple different types of RCBOs, which we'll go into on a later video, but the answer is, can you still fit these? You can. Should you still fit these? You shouldn't. If budget is an issue and you are being forced by a builder or a landlord or whatever it is to fit one of these, there are ways you can try and mitigate the risk, but unfortunately there is no way you can eliminate it with this traditional split load board. I hope to be able to discontinue this by the end of the year. However, with the way things are going at the moment, probably unlikely. Okay, but we would all like to see the entire industry move to RCBOs as a standard, okay, and eliminate this situation entirely as a standard to go to. The RCDs, MCBs will always have their place, but as a primary level of protection within the home, hopefully, we are all hoping it might migrates out. Okay guys, and thank you very much for watching. Do not forget, as soon as we hit to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube and 7,000 followers on Instagram, we are giving away 50, not split load boards, 50 12-way boards with surge for absolutely free. Okay, we are so close now, guys, so just don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, share it with all your friends, and head over to Instagram and give us a follow there as well. And guys, if you want to see us cover a different topic or do anything else, please just drop a comment, message me on Instagram, you know how it goes, and we'll try and get around to it. Our next show, for those who saw us at all the Elect shows, thank you very much. Our next show is going to be the Elect show in Coventry, where we're going to be unveiling a massive, massive new range of product. For those of you who don't know, have a little look on socials, you'll probably guess, but this one is going to be very, very different. Okay, guys, thank you ever so much, and until next time, the joy is in the journey, so you take care.